Alright guys, in this video I'm going to walk you through how to get WordPress installed on your Bluehost server. Now they have a install WordPress icon on the cPanel when you log into your server at Bluehost, but I don't really like it. It's kind of buggy and I prefer to do it manually now. So I'm going to walk through that process. A couple things that you're going to need. You're going to need a FTP software to go ahead and push files onto your server. I use FileZilla. So in FileZilla, you'll go ahead and type in the information that was sent to you in Bluehost. You should get an email and it'll tell you your FTP host, your FTP username, your FTP password, and then the port, which you can usually leave blank, but usually it's port 21. So you want to go ahead and enter that information in here and then click Quick Connect, and that will get you inside of your server. The other thing you're going to want is you're going to want like an empty notepad document handy so that you can write down server details or database details. And then you're going to want to go to Google and search for WordPress download. And then it's usually this like first result here. Go ahead and click download, whichever the most recent version is. So you can see it's downloading right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by going into our FileZilla. All right, so we're in right now. We're going to go to public HTML. All right, now my site already has WordPress installed on it, which is why you see all of these files. But let's pretend that it didn't. What I would do is I would unzip that file that was given to me by the WordPress site. You can just normally double click it depending on what operating system you're on. If you're not sure how to unzip a file, just go to YouTube and type in how to unzip a file, but you just usually click on it and then you'll have all of these files in here, which are WordPress files. So literally what you do is you take those files and you just drag them into your public-html folder. Now, if you want to install WordPress on like a subdomain or something like that, which is what I'm going to do, then you can right click and hit create directory. I'm going to put it in a subdirectory called demo since this is a demonstration. So I'm going to navigate to that subdirectory. And if that doesn't make sense to you, just ignore it. You could just drop it in where I told you to drop it in. Like if this is a brand new site for you and there's nothing there, then just ignore everything else I said. But for now, I'm going to copy everything in this WordPress folder. I'm going to drag it here just like that, and you can see what's going to happen is it's going to start loading it up, and this is going to take a while. So in the meantime, while we wait for this, we're going to start setting up our database, which is pretty straightforward. So we're going to scroll down inside of Bluehost and we're going to go to the PHP My Admin. And we're going to navigate to this MySQL databases. All right, great. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new database. So just make something up here, that you want this to be somewhat secure. So I'll just put a bunch of random letters like this and hit create database. All right, so it's going to say add a database, and then it'll normally put like your username in front of it. So just grab that entire thing in between the quotation marks, and we're going to put database and the name of the database. And right away we're just going to put user and pass too, because we're also going to need those. All right, so we're going to go back, and now we're going to create a user for this database. So we're going to scroll down, and we're just going to type in a bunch more random letters again and make up a username. And we're going to generate a password as well. So copy this password down right away. There it is in my notepad. We're going to need that later. And we're going to hit use password. And then we're going to create the user. All right, so again, we're going to want to save the username in between this quotation marks here in our Notepad document, just like that. Okay, so we've got all of the database set up. We need to make sure that we assign privileges now to this database. So we're going to select the user, and then we're going to select the database, which is already selected, and we're going to add that user that we created to the database we created. Okay, and we're going to make sure that we give them all privileges, and we're going to hit make changes. And that's literally it. Once that finishes, that's done. We can log out of here. We don't need to go back in here. As soon as our FTP finishes uploading, we're able to go and start installing WordPress. All right, so once the site finishes uploading to the FTP server, like all the files finish transferring over, you literally just want to navigate to your site. In my case, I navigated to the subdirectory /demo because that's where I drop my files in. But if you dropped your files in just the regular public_HTML directory, then you'll just navigate to whatever your site is .com or whatever it is. And then you'll be presented with a WordPress installation screen. And from this point, it's a breeze. Select your language, hit continue. We're going to hit let's go. And this is where all that information comes in handy. So pop in the database, pop in the username for the database, put in the password for the database, and then these other two options, localhost and table prefix, you could just leave that whatever it is, localhost and WP_, that's fine. Hit submit. And it's going to check, and if everything went well and you did everything right with the database side of things, which you should have if you did it the way I taught you, you're good to go. You can run the install. WordPress is going to be set up. It's time to put in a site title, so we'll just call this my site. Make up a username. You shouldn't use the username admin, make up something else, but for the sake of this demonstration, I'll just use that username. And then put in an email here. All right, install WordPress. And we're done. We can hit the login button now, and we can go ahead and we can log into our WordPress site and go about our day. So it's that easy to install WordPress on Bluehost or any host for that matter, but this is how I do it, and it's the most secure way to do it that I know of. So I hope that you enjoy this video, and I hope that helps.